Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Knitting Traditions Podcast. My name is Inga, and this is my little corner on the internet where I talk about my knitting. So settle in, grab yourself something to drink or knit with, and we're just gonna go through all that I've been knitting on since last time. And recording inside again today because there has not been a day without rain since I last recorded, and this was the only time I could record. I just got home from work and I have another shift tomorrow morning, and then as soon as I get off from that, I'm driving to Bergen, where my parents live, and then flying to Turkey the next day. So it was either now or in a very long time. Alright, just really needed a coffee, but we're good. So, since last time I have finished some objects and started lots of objects because I've been trying to plan what to bring on holiday, and I've sewn my first garment, which is what I'm wearing today. So this is like a cropped, boxy, oversized shirt. I didn't have a pattern. My friend was visiting from London and she knows how to sew, so she told me what I needed to do and how the kind of steps are for a garment. So yay, made this with some fabric that I had and really happy with it. I'm not gonna become a sewer, I'm a knitter, but it was really fun and rewarding that this is a piece that I will use. I also made some shorts, but I'm not gonna show them because I don't think the fabric wasn't the best, the fit wasn't the best. Not sure it'll ever get used, so yeah. Also, I forgot to bring it. Alright, so let's get into our knitting. So, since last time I have finished, we can start with this one. I finished this. I don't think this was finished last time. I'm a bit confused now. I've worn it a lot since last time, so that's why I'm confused if it was actually finished or not. But this is a cowl / vest with sort of ties underneath the sleeves on each side. I can try it on. You knit the back panel, front panel, then the neckline, and then these sort of sleeves. I'm not going to open the ties right now, but I can show you. So these are just cast on pickup stitches around the armhole, and then cast on and knit a ribbed edging basically, which you can then tie at the sides. And this is very warm, very soothing to wear when it's just a little bit of chill. It's really nice and warm here. I used one strand of the unspun yarn from Hillesvåg together with the silk mohair, commercial silk mohair, just standard length that most silk mohairs have, together. And the unspun yarn from Hillesvåg actually comes with 2 strands together, so I had to unravel all the yarn that I needed and like separate as 2 balls at a time, because if I knit with 2 together it would have been too thick. Because this vest is from this magazine from Sandnes Garn, and it's supposed to be knit with silk mohair and a fingering weight. They're Sunday yarn. So I've done some research, and their pattern books are sold from their website together with yarn quantities for one of the projects. I don't know if anyone has been able to find it in another way, but there is a sock pattern in here, so you could order this with yarn for the socks. I have now knitted 2 patterns, and I'm knitting the 3rd pattern from this book, so I really like this one. This is called the Amy pullover. I don't think I said that. I didn't use the yarn that they used, but personally I think it looks very similar. I do prefer mine though, because that unspun yarn does have a lot more warmth to it than the Sunday yarn has. So I'm really happy with it. I've used it a lot and gotten compliments on it, People don't think it's knitted, but it is. That's like one of the nice compliments as a knitter to get. It's like, you didn't knit that. It's like, yes, I did. And yeah, no, it's a lot of purling. Is it just as much purling as knitting? Because it's knit back and forth in stockinette, and then it's ribbing and ribbing. So if you don't like purling, this is not for you, but it's well worth it. And I am already planning on making more. Maybe one in a lighter color, though this will be my favorite because I just really like the dark color of it. But I think it would be nice to have in spring and fall to put on over dresses if the weather would be nice for once. And by nice I mean sunny, but still a bit cold, so need something. Then that would be good. I have also finished this. So this is the ripple crop bralette. Ripple crop. It's a pattern by Jessie Maed. I never remember exactly the names because they're all similar, dissimilarly similar. But yes, it's the ripple bralette something. And it looks like a top for a 3-year-old with very long shoulders. I knit this small, but it is super stretchy. And personally, I'm not as small. I think maybe I'd say I'm a medium, small to medium waist, and then like a large bust in a lot of patterns, or medium. But with wearing, this really does stretch out. All the ribbed patterns tops that I've made so far has all stretched out. I don't know what I need to do to make it not stretch. Probably knitted in 100% wool yarn or something, which has more memory. This is an alpaca linen silk blend by Zakami yarns. I believe it's Lulu. This I think was the main skein from the Advent last year. I have two very similarly composed balls of yarn from them in similar colorways, and one of them was from the Advent, and I think it was this one, but I don't remember the name. It was a flower, some sort of Latin name of a flower, I think. But yeah, it's really comfortable. It's very easy and quick to knit. Just not sure about the fit yet though, because it's so small, and then when it does stretch out, it doesn't give a lot of coverage over the boob area. I would not wear this as a garment. This is underwear for me, and I've used it as that, and it works as that. But it would be nice to have it not stretch so much. And I made it longer than the pattern said. I would still make it longer again next time, just because there just isn't very much coverage here when you stretch it out. So yeah, but that's all personal preferences, so you can make it however you want. And then I finished my maybe favorite knit garment so far fit wise. So this is the Kumulus tee by petiteknit, and I knit this in one strand of line from sandnes garn, which is a cotton and linen and maybe something else blend. I do have some more. I bought some white one, which is one of the projects I'm bringing on holiday because it's on knit on 3mm needles. Let's see. It's 53% cotton, 35% viscose, and 14% linen. And 50 grams of this is 220 meters. So it's like a light fingering weight. And yeah, it was knit on 3mm needles, and you start by knitting the top part, so there's a lot of purling in the beginning. I think I knit the medium, and her pattern has this lovely v-neck. In the pattern, she tells you to do an I-cord edging for the neckline, but I tried it on and I really like this neckline. It looks very steep when I hold it like this, but on me it's the perfect V-neck for me, because it covers like the shoulder. It has like a nice airy boxy shape, but there's still like some skin area here, and when I get a tan it's nice to show some skin. And I don't know, I like a little bit of cleavage, not too much but a little bit, so I really enjoyed this. I've worn it at home, I wore it shopping, I wore it to a party, and it just fit with everything, and it was flattering and nice and quite like airy and cool fabric. So I'm thinking this is gonna be perfect on holiday, and I want to make more in different colors. So yeah, the Kumulus tee by petiteknit. I think I made the recommended length of the body. I did not do the recommended length of the sleeves. I tried it on, and honestly I really liked how the shoulders looked after I had just put the stitches on hold. So I just knit an inch, and then I did the I-cord. So those are the modifications: shorter sleeves and no I-cord on the neck, and making sure the ends don't unravel. I use quite a bit of time to fasten in the ends so they don't go anywhere. Yeah. So far so good. I washed it by hand since I used it last, laid it flat to dry. I do find that the lean yarn does stiffen up a little bit when washing, even though I used sort of the Eucalan soak. And I don't know, if you have any tips on how to make it soft again, do let me know, and others in the comments. But yeah, really happy with this one. Making more. Let's see. Okay, and so since my friend was here and she knows how to sew, I asked her to help me figure out my sewing machine, because my sewing machine it's so fast, it just runs away. And end of the story, it still runs away. It's just that kind of machine. But she did help me sew up the edgings of this cardigan. So there's this, she sewed up and down probably like 4 times, up, down, on each side, and then I cut it in the center, so we have a cardigan. Maybe you guys want to know the name of this. This is the Maed 243/5, and this is a rauma pattern. And I'll attach a photo here. Somebody did find it in the States, I believe. So I'll attach a photo of that book here if anyone's interested. In Norway, this is the pamphlet that it is in. Alright, so yeah, I steeked the front, so now it's open. And then steeked the armholes and sewed on the sleeves. And on the sleeves you have this covering, so I've loosely sewed that onto the inside of the fabric so it doesn't show on the outside, and it still has a bit of stretch, which you want. And I've seamed the shoulders together on each side. So I've done both the shoulders and both the sleeves attached, and the coverings covering the cut edge of the body here, because you cut it after steeking. So what I have left now, and also picked up stitches around the neckline, and I knit the neckband, which they tell you to then fold over and sew down. So Norwegian patterns are not very detailed. They don't hold your hand the way indie patterns do. So it just said to pick up like this many stitches per centimeter, and then knit this far and bind off and sew it down. But what you do want to do is when you attach it on the inside, you want to make sure it's not where you picked up, but it's covering the cut raw edge. So that goes inside it. So this sort of holds the cut edge because you also cut here on this cardigan. I did not want to bind off and sew down because I find that when I knit my neckbands down, they're more elastic. So instead of binding off and sewing it down, I knit it down on the inside here. So you can see how I knit and bound off. So what I have left now is to do the button bands, and that will be time consuming because you've left some stitches on hold, and you will then pick them up, and you'll also cast on some stitches for a covering and stockinette. And then I need to basically knit this thing back and forth for the entirety of this front. And then I need to pick up these live stitches here and do the same thing on the other side. And on that side there will be the buttonholes. So it's not that much left. Almost everything is done. Just need to figure that out. And I think I'll put the this into the neckline here and then sew it closed, so it'll be almost invisible. But yeah, so this is quite a big garment. It's going to be a huge jacket. It's the size L, because honestly, when you knit pieces like this, it is a lot of knitting. It's all over color work, and it's knit in rauma finull, which is one of my favorite yarns for color work. It's very even to knit with, and it just lasts for generations. So I wanted this jacket to be a jacket that several people in the family can wear, even if they're bigger or smaller people. So it's like it's quite big on me. But it still fits, and I can always just scrunch up the arms a little bit, but it will probably, hopefully, fit my boyfriend and brothers. Oh, this is really nice and warm. Okay, it's summer. It's supposed to be summer, so we'll take the wool off, even though it's 8 degrees and raining. But yeah, really, really happy with this, and hopefully it will last for generations to come when it's done. I do have other cardigans planned, not as intricate as this one though, but we shall see. It was fun, and it honestly didn't take that long. It took me longer to steek it, like to wait to steek it, than it took to knit it. Not bad. And I'm just gonna put it away because when I found it today, the needle had been removed from the stitches. I blame my boyfriend, but it might have been me too. I don't know. They're knit on 2.5 millimeter needles right now, the bands, and the cardigan itself was knit on 3 millimeter needles, so labor of love. And I need some coffee. Perfect chugging temperature. Oh, and here is the part of the neckband that I cut off. I told you to mark how you wanted your neckline, the same I sort of did for this sewn garment. And then it tells you to pin it down and sew along it and cut it. So here is the piece that was cut off, and this piece does not have any reinforcement done with the sewing machine, but as you can see, it's not exactly unraveling the way a plant fiber yarn would unravel, so pretty sure it's not gonna unravel. I hope not, at least. I did cut it quite close to the sewn edge, but it's supposed to hold the stitches, and I'm covering it again, so let's hope. Okie dokie. Maybe I can show you the whips that I've been working on. So I was planning on knitting on this whip in Turkey, where I'm going, but because it's a very lightweight project and it's on 3mm needles, it'll last me a while. But I don't know if I'm going to be knitting on mohair, honestly, in 30 degrees. I have not completely decided, but I think this is going to stay at home and wait for me. So this, I can show you the pattern and then I'll show you close up, is from this book again, Myk til dame. And it's the Jules genser, I believe. And it's this one right here. So it's a top-down silk mohair construction, 3mm needles. Here you can see it hanging. It's quite oversized. It has a lot of similarities to the ranunculus, with it being a silk mohair structured yoke construction, but this is knit on 3mm needles, so it's a denser gauge. It's more time consuming to knit, but I don't know, I'm really enjoying the fabric that it's creating. So I'm using the silk mohair from sandnes garn. It's a regular silk mohair that has 212 meters, I believe. I can check. I had this in my stash. 212 meters. It's 57% mohair, 28% silk, and it actually has 15% wool in this. I did not know that. Now I know that. So this is the thin silk mohair. They also have a regular silk mohair and a thick silk mohair, but this is regular silk mohair to me. The 212 meters per 25 grams. That's a lot of silk mohairs have this meterage, so to me this is a regular silk mohair, even though they call it thin. And the colorway might be 2727. It's an orange color. I really like it. I have 6 balls of it, and I think the pattern does say that I need 6 balls of it, but come on. I've split for the sleeves and body and I'm still on my 2nd ball. So I don't think I will need 6. I'll need 4, maybe 5. Don't think I'll need 6. It really does depend how long and wide the body and sleeves are, I guess, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it's really pretty. I do like the gauge of this. It's going to be a nice sweater to throw on, and unlike the ranunculus and silk mohair where I feel like I need to have something underneath, I don't think I'll feel the need as much with this because it is a tighter gauge. It's more a garment on its own. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how the fit is of this. I have more of this yarn in my stash in other color, so if I really like it, I could make another one in green. So yeah, I haven't quite decided if I am bringing this or not, because one of the flights that we're taking has quite a limitation on weight, and we're going both to Turkey and to Rome and to a wedding, so I need to bring other things than just yarn. And also I want to buy yarn abroad, and yeah, although honestly this doesn't really weigh much. It's what, maybe 150 grams in total with the needles and everything, maybe. We shall see. We shall see. It could be waiting for me when I come home. It's not like I'm gonna need it in 30 degrees to wear, so maybe I should just focus on knitting things that I can also wear on the holiday. Maybe. Alright, and I have in my Jezebel leather bag, I have another whip that I cast on. I don't think I'm going to bring this along because it's heavier. This is a DK weight summer pattern. It's called the Ribba t-shirt, I think the designer is either Norwegian or Danish, but I'm not completely sure. Yeah, but this is the ribba t-shirt, and the pattern is in English, although I think something went wrong in the translation, because in the pattern she keeps referring to it as the ribba dress. So I think she might have a dress version of this t-shirt as well. But yeah, it's almost a ribbed t-shirt. It's just rib / garter in the purl section. And it has a really nice and interesting shoulder construction. I'm hoping the fit's going to be good. I'm not using the recommended yarn. I did do a gauge swatch, so it should be okay, but I feel like it's looking a bit big. And that might be because I'm using a plant fiber, and I think the original used a chained wool blend yarn. So this is the Papyrus Natura Fibra or something. Where did I put the balls? It's a Fibra Natura Papyrus yarn, which is a cotton and silk blend. I've knit the ranunculus in this before, and I love it. And that one is coming with me on holiday because I just think it looks really nice with jeans shorts. This one I think I will finish when I'm back home, just because there isn't that much knitting left on it, and I don't think I'm going to be wearing it down there in 30 degrees. This has a tighter gauge than the ranunculus one, so there's more yarn in this. It's heavier and not as airy and flowy as the other one. So this is a whip, which will wait for me, and I'm knitting this on 4mm needles. So yes. So potentially 2 whips waiting at home. Oh, and I've put the sleeves on hold using the Knitting Barber cords. They are really great. My friend saw them, and she does knit as well, not as fanatically as me. She's more of a sewer, but she saw those and she was amazed. So we went yarn shopping in town, and she also got some cords from the local yarn store. And yes, maybe I can show you all the projects that I have potentially planned to bring along with me. Just need some more caffeine. Yes. All right, so first, I was thinking I need something on the plane, and I need something on several plane rides, and it should be wooden needles just to make it a little bit less likely that they will take the wooden needles. And ideally it should be wooden needles that I don't want them to steal from me, but I didn't have that available. Oh, maybe I do. Maybe I bought some. I'll have to check. But yes, I digress. I wanted something with wooden needles, something that will last me a long time, that I can have as plain knitting. And ever since I made the half and half wrap, I've worn it all the time. Like in the car, going to work, at home, at the cabin. It's just a nice blanket. I was a bit unsure if I should bring this because it is a big project, but I figured if I cast it on, I don't need to bring all 6 skeins for this project, because that, of course, I could probably finish that in 3 weeks, but I'm also going to be knitting on other things, and it's going to be warm and I might not knit as much, so I figured I could bring the color of the first half and maybe 1 ball for the second, just in case I do actually knit that much. I'm probably not even going to get close, but still a work in project. I have a hard time not bringing the yarn I might need. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna bring 6 balls because I'm gonna knit other things, and I might buy other projects to knit on. And yes, so I decided on this color because it's happy and it's more summery than the dark green and gray version that I have. But I'm still gonna pair it with the same light gray that I used in my green version because it's just so nice. And I have some other linen quill from Purl Soho, but honestly this combination was the one that is making me happy. I could have made another one in green and gray, but I have a green and gray one, and I have another even nicer yellow, but I have 4 of that, and that's going to be used for a garment. And honestly, these two, I think they look nice together. So the colors, this light one is the oatmeal gray. I really like this one. I think I want to get more of it in the future. And this, I think, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna check the label so I don't lie and people get confused. Yeah, it's the turmeric yellow. So turmeric yellow and oatmeal gray is gonna be my second half and half wrap. I think it's gonna be nice. And then I have 2 different ones with very different second colors, green and yellow. So I've cast on, and I'm using my Licky needles on 3.5. So in my local yarn store, they have some different needles, but mostly it's Addi and Knit Pro or Knitter's Pride. And here it's either 3mm or 3.5 or 4mm. I think this pattern is supposed to be 3.25, but I'm using 3.5. And the half and half wrap that I have in green and gray is very big, and I love it for it. It's a blanket. But I was thinking maybe just make this one slightly smaller. So instead of 260 stitches, and I can say this because it's a free pattern, instead of 260 stitches, which is the larger of the 2 sizes, I'm doing 240 stitches. So just 20 stitches less. It's still going to be a big one, but yeah, I'm going to do this and see which size I like the best. And I've just slightly started. I cast on so I would have it ready to just go when traveling. And I put stitch markers every 20 stitches just so that I have little milestones to reach. And I picked the leather stitch markers from Jezebel that I bought for this one because it's just less noisy, and I figured maybe that would be nice for the plane ride so I don't bother other people. I only have one fun stitch marker, and that one is at where I do the German short rows. So in the pattern it tells you to do wrap and turns, but I prefer German short rows, so I'm doing German short rows. And at the other end where I'm not doing German short rows, where you knit to the end, I am doing an I-cord edging. So when I get to the last 3 stitches, I bring the yarn to the front and I just slip the last 3. And then when I'm gonna knit again, I take the yarn around and then start knitting. And that creates a sort of I-cord wrapped edging. And yeah, I think it's nice. So I've cast this on. This is coming with me. Haven't decided yet how many more balls I'm going to bring. But maybe that would be 200 grams of yarn. Space, I can always squeeze things. I'm really good at squeezing things in my luggage. It just can't be too heavy. But yes. Yeah, I might bring this because it would be really satisfactory to join the last, the second color just to see. And the composition of this is 50% fine Highland wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen. So it's not exactly a summer yarn. I'm not going to be knitting on a huge wool alpaca shawl while tanning or anything, but it could be nice to knit on in the evenings and nice to knit on plane rides because it's just Garter. It's mindless, but you have that little thing happening with the German short row, so maybe. Oh, and that stitch marker that I have on it, they're some of my favorites because they're just so cute. I have 2 more that I'm bringing with me just in case. And this is from Pearls and Knits by Bergesen. And she and I went to school together when we were kids, so that makes it extra special. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking of bringing on the plane. When flying from Norway, I haven't had a problem with knitting needles before, so I might bring another project for that plane ride. Haven't quite decided. But I have cast on and prepared another whip. So I cast on for another Kumulus tee, but this time in white yarn. Again, this is knit on 3mm needles, and when I took my friend to the knitting store, I actually bought a pair of wooden needles, thinking that I could bring it on the plane. These are cubics. I've never knit with cubics before. I've just cast on. So far, I prefer the round needles, but maybe it'll get better. We shall see. It's supposed to be more ergonomic, but yeah, I don't know. We shall see. So I've cast on, I've put on all the stitch markers I need. I've also found the small circular needle that I will need for the sleeves, so that is ready. And I found the yarn I need, and I also got some more of these cords, so I can put the sleeves on hold using these, so I don't need other separate needles. So all I need to finish this garment is the yarn and what is here. So I've sort of tried to like prep my projects so that I have what I need and not extra stuff, because limited space and weight. Okay. I did also buy this color in Lina, which feels softer to the touch than the white one. Might have to do with the color they've used. This is the color 8521, but I'm not sure if I'm going to bring this one, because if I have that t-shirt, and then I'm also bringing 2 other projects at least, and then there's the half and half, and I'm only gone for 3 weeks, and I'll probably buy more yarn. I don't think I need to bring this, so probably not going to bring that. I was also planning on bringing this yarn from Felici Punto, but I couldn't really find a project for it, so instead of bringing it in case I find a project I want to make, I think I'm just going to keep this at home and wait until the inspiration strikes for the right pattern for this beautiful yarn. And I cast on another Kumulus tee. It's just a really great pattern if you want something that'll take you a little bit longer to knit, if you're into that. I'm into that. I don't need everything to be super fast. I found this yarn at the store when I was there with my friend. This is a Viking garn bambino. This is made of 50% bamboo and 50% cotton, and this is really lovely to touch, and also the color was beautiful. It's like a bottle green, pine forest bottle green. I thought it was really pretty. It's the color 433, so, and it was a lot softer to the touch, because of the linen, maybe that's why, or the cotton, that's why it sort of stiffens a bit, but this feels really nice and soft. I don't know how it's going to be after washing. I did the same though. I've just barely cast on, and I've put on all the stitch markers that I might need, and I have the needle that I'll need for the sleeves. This yarn is slightly thicker than the Line. This one is 176 meters per 50, so this is then $350-ish. meters per 100, while the line is 440 meters or something like that. Yeah, so this is thicker, but it does say that it has, like, when the recommended gauge on it, it does have the same gauge as the line. So I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But I did choose, instead of a 3mm needle, I'm actually knitting this on 2.5 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I'm knitting this on 2.5 millimeter needles. Yeah, I honestly don't mind. I'm quite happy around 3.5, 3mm needles. It keeps getting smaller by each year, so 2.5 doesn't really feel a lot different than 3mm to me. The purling, not very fun, but as soon as the V is done, it's just gonna be smooth sailing. So yeah, then it's the same pattern but a different yarn and a different feeling, and I think it's gonna be really nice. So that is another one that I'm bringing. This is knit on metal needles, so I'm not gonna bring this on the plane. So yeah, so then I have 2 Kumulus tees that I'm making, and I have the half and half wrap. And then I had a lot of this yarn because I bought it at the outlet, sort of imperfect skeins, and I really liked this beigey-ish color that I didn't have ball bands on them because the balls of yarn were all sort of a mess like this in a big plastic bag. But I have a lot left, so what I'm thinking is, and I've also just cast on the beginning here, so you can see, you start in the back, and I have put on all the stitch markers that I'm gonna need. And this is knit on carbons, so metal needles, so this is not going on the plane ride. But yes, I don't know how much yarn I've brought for this, but I brought a bit, and the thought is that I will knit myself a dress version of the Kumulus tee. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the Kumulus tee, and then I haven't completely decided if I'm just gonna knit straight down and just use a brown belt at the waist, or if I'm gonna do a bit of shaping, sort of decrease on the side from the armhole, and then when I hit the waist, increase again. We shall see. Maybe I won't even get that far, seeing as I have 2 other Kumulus tees and a half and half wrap going with me, but maybe. So yeah, that should keep me busy for 3 weeks, more than busy. Probably shouldn't need to bring all of this, but I'd rather have it and not need it than want to knit and not have anything to knit on. That is sort of my mentality with this. I do also have a pair of socks going right now. I haven't really done much. This is also a zakami yarn that I bought last year, and this is the Lulu base with superwash fine merino, baby alpaca, and mulberry silk. I don't know if I'm going to bring this, to be honest. It's just more fun to knit garments. I'm not really on the sock roll right now. But then again, it would be nice to have something small and like small garment to knit on. So I don't know. I might bring this sock. I am definitely going to bring my twister so I can hang it on the sunbed with the yarn of whichever project I'm knitting on, so it doesn't fall down on the ground, which might be wet from the pool or whatever. So yeah, I'm bringing that. I'm gonna put that in the airplane bag. And yeah, haven't quite decided if I'm bringing this or not. maybe not. If I do want to knit socks, I can do it when I come home. Yeah, I think I'll leave it. I think I'll leave it at home. You guys help me decide whether you wanted to or not. So yeah, that is all of the knitting and knitting plans. I do have some acquisitions to show, so if that's not your cup of tea, then I will see you next time. And yes, so maybe first, I received two crinkles. Sorry. I received two knit crate boxes quite close together. The first one that I got, and I'm an affiliate member of Knit Crate, so if you use my coupon code or the link below, then I get a little bit of money from Knit Crate if you do end up buying anything. They sent you always get two skeins, and you can preview the skeins, but you don't choose the color. That's sort of a surprise. This is the first color that I got. It's a very summery and happy color. Not really my color. I don't like this color for my skin tone, so I might make a gift for someone with this yarn. This is the Knitology Wisp in the color Clay Pot. To me, clay pots are a lot more terracotta-y, more like this and not as pinkish, but that's just me. It's 100% merino in a DK weight, and really it's a really nice and soft yarn. And that month came with this little book, which looks like it's made of wood and has little leaves on it, and it's lined paper. And I thought this was really nice. This is one of the nicer things that has come in the Knit Crate boxes of the not yarn things. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna use it for yet, but maybe keep track of some knitting things. I'm not really good at keeping track. I don't use Ravelry. There's not enough time in my days to do all the things that I ought to and should be and want to be doing. So I start with what I want to and then never get around to the rest. Then the other day, the next Knit Crate box arrived, and again, a similar color family. Yay me for not liking the salmon-y pinks. But this is the Vidalana Lofty DK, and this is the color Spray Rose. It's 48% merino, 20% baby alpaca, and 32% Pima cotton. Again, it's a DK weight. It feels really nice and soft. It's one of those chained yarns. I really like all the chained yarns from Knit Crate. I made hats with several of them. It's just beautiful. Seeing as this has a cotton content, you can feel that it has a cotton content. All the yarns are super soft, and this is super soft as well. This could make a really nice, maybe a child's garment, because yeah, it's a cute color. It's not my color, but it's a cute color. This is more vibrant. This is more, this is maybe softer if you're very sensitive. So far I haven't gotten any yarns that I think, oh, this is itchy. They are very surprisingly soft, all the bases that I have received. But yeah, so two DK months from Knit Crate. They could also be used together, even though this is 100% wool and this has a cotton and alpaca in it too. Yeah, so there you can see more up close. This is more of a marled looking one as well, while this is more solid. And I also received very kindly some gifted yarn. And pick it up and show you. So this is from Hodgepodge, and I believe she lives in Australia. Yeah, she sent me some of her yarn, as well as a peppermint and lavender soap bar. Very cute little packaging. She also sent some lovely teas. And she wrote me a card with this cute owl on it. I just thought it was so cool. So I'm gonna keep, every time I receive some cards with like a cool graphic design or anything, I put it up in my knitting room. I just think it's cute. So she sent me some of her lovely yarn. So she sent me 2 skeins of this one. This is the cognac, and this is a 2-ply, 100 grams, 670 meters. This is a 100% Australian merino wool. So seeing as it has 670 meters, this would be a light fingering, and 670 meters in light fingering, 2 skeins. This could make a garment for me. It would also make a beautiful shawl. And they smell really good. So this is the cognac color. It looks really beautiful. One of the skeins looks more saturated than the other, or it might just be how they are wound up. Yeah. And then she also sent me these 2, which is the solar flare, that's how you pronounce that. Solar flare, and this is the 16-ply with 96 meters. So this is, what would you say, chunky or Aran? Probably chunky. And the solar flare, there's 2 of this, so seeing as it's chunky, wouldn't get a garment out of this, but this could make some really fun accessories, like maybe a hat. So if you know any good hat patterns that could use something with 96 meters per 100 grams, maybe let me know below, because my favorite hat patterns are usually or the watch cap hat pattern from Purl Sew is my favorite, and I've used like fingering or DK for that. This would then be too thick, so I would need to find the perfect pattern for it. It's so vibrant. It's beautiful. So go check her out if you like this. Thank you so much for sending me this beautiful yarn. Alright, so I think that was everything I had to show. I am going to be away for a good 3 to 4 weeks, and then hopefully I'll have something to show when I'm back. Until then, I hope you have a lovely summer, that you're safe, that you get to do what you love to do, and I will see you then. Bye!